My name's Craig. I'm married to Tam of Tam's Tips. So I thought I'd interject myself on this channel and offer a tip. The idea is making burrito filling, breakfast burrito filling in advance for about a week worth of breakfast burritos. The ingredients are, 3 or maybe 4 potatoes, depending on how big they are. And they'll be peeled and diced. About a half or 1 onion, depending on how much you like onion. And then a pound of breakfast sausage. I like the Jimmy Dean regular. 7 eggs, some grated cheese. There'll be some spices and whatnot that we'll add, as we go. All right, step 1 is to just peel the potatoes. I just kind of give these a rough chop, about a centimeter, maybe a little less in thickness. I just put these slices in here and then just push them down through the blades, and it dices them for me. Just like that. And we'll do 2 more potatoes and we'll fill up this whole basin. I'll just put them into here temporarily while we're getting the rest of the stuff chopped up. Okay, I'll do the same thing with the onions. And here's the center of the onion, so I just basically press that into the blades. And that way all these layers are going straight through the grid. And that does a really good job of cutting them all into little square pieces. And that's half the onion, we'll do the other half. And that gives you about that many onions. So it's kind of like 2 parts potatoes, 1 part onion. This is sort of the ratio that I like. And instead of mixing them at this point, I'm gonna cook the potatoes in the skillet by themselves first. I start with a whole stick of butter. Just take these potatoes, get them in there, start working them. You kind of see how they're all coated and glossy from the butter. That's what you want. You get this going, cover it. That keeps the heat kind of going all over the place inside of there. And once they're almost done, we'll add the onions. A minute or 2. I'll take the lid off and stir them around so that they're constantly moving around and softening all at the same rate. All right, for the eggs, I'm gonna add them to the sausage to make this kind of sausage scramble out of these. So I'm gonna pre-scramble them and have them ready to go. This is a good example of something you can do while the potatoes are cooking. And they're ready to go. Let's get these potatoes stirred up a little bit more. They feel pretty soft under my spatula, so let's grab one out and then we'll just see how it behaves. It's not done yet, but it's starting to get soft, so it's a perfect time to add the onion. You just take all these onions, add them right in there, and then at this point you just mix them together, and then they'll go for another 3 or 4 minutes to get all finished up together. And right here at this point we're going to add the spices so that this potato mixture is kind of what carries all these spice flavors. These I get at Winco, and this one is called Cajun Spice Blend, and you can get it in the bulk section just out of the dispenser. I got a bag full of the spice and then a container, and then I brought it home and put it in here. The next one is garlic pepper, also at Winco, should be right next to or very close to the Cajun spice mix. And then the third spice is just a high quality salt. This happens to be Himalayan pink salt. I'll just show you kind of how much I do. Looks like it's kind of coming out slow, so I'm gonna open this lid and do about that much on the Cajun seasoning. About that much on the garlic pepper. Maybe a little Himalayan salt as well. Don't need much, because the sausage actually provides a lot of the savory flavor. So you may actually not even need salt. So start light, and you can see what you think. And cover it up. We'll come back in a couple minutes. There have been a couple times when at this point it gets kind of dry for some reason, and in that case I just add a little bit of water to keep the steam rolling around in there, and that helps soften it throughout. If it gets too dry, then it kind of starts to mush together. You essentially kind of want to steam these as opposed to frying them. The onions are getting translucent, which is what you want, and I know the potatoes were almost done when we added the onions, so we're getting really close. Let me taste these and see how they're doing. It's pretty good. I think I'm going to add a little bit more spices. This feels like it needs a little more. A little more of everything. Spread that around. I would say that is ready to pull off the heat and set aside for a minute while we get going on the sausage and egg mixture. And I'll just cover that to keep it all warm and steamy. And all those buttery, oniony, spicy juices right there, we're gonna cook the sausage in that. So, all right, so here we are back at the skillet. Got all that sausage. That's 1 pound of sausage. And we'll just get it going here. By the way, this is all over kind of a medium heat. There doesn't seem to be that much leftover grease usually. I find that I don't ever need to drain it. And I'm going to reduce the heat a little bit. We'll just take these whipped eggs that we did earlier and just put them right in there. And then at this point, you just kind of stir them fairly constantly until it's this kind of scrambled egg sort of thing. It's looking good. And remember this potato onion mixture, we just add it all together at this point. And that should fill the skillet right up with about 2 liters of burrito goodness right there. And at this point, I'm going to take the heat off. This next part is a very precise measurement. And the measurement is a fistful. And maybe another little fistful. Plenty of cheese. You can already see it kind of melting together, gluing the whole mixture together. Good stuff right there. And it's ready to go for later. Right now, we're gonna build a burrito. I'll show you. We tried a few different types of tortillas, and the one that we found that we like the best is actually comes from Winco, which is handy because that's where you get the spices. They're really thin and they're really strong. You can't really tear them very easily, which is good for building a burrito. So what I'll do in the morning, I'll just put a little bit of this, probably about that much, onto a plate and heat it in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes. And then as soon as that's done, I'll heat this for 20 seconds in the microwave, and then they're ready to put together. Since this is already hot, we're just gonna go ahead and heat this up and get it going. build it when they're warm because the tortilla actually gets really malleable when it's warmed up like that, which is what you want. And this is already hot, so let's just put it right in the middle, about like that. And then I've been doing what I call the papoose style. I don't know if that's probably not a real term. I know it's not. But I just folded one end like this. Rather than folding two, I just folded one. It gives you a little bit more room to expand. And then I fold that one over, and then fold this one over. And then you just hold it up like this, and that's ready to go. Just like that. And this is the best breakfast burrito you'll ever have right here. That's good.